The police sent six officers to go and arrest a middle-aged couple for comments that they made in a WhatsApp group.
Well, since coming to office, I can announce today we've returned more than 24,000 people who have no right to be here. That would have taken the Rwanda scheme 80 years to achieve. That's what I mean about not giving in to gimmicks. Just focusing our efforts and resources on the nuts and bolts of removing people, getting the asylum system working properly. That's how we've delivered the highest return rates for 8 years and the 4 biggest return flights ever. We're also ramping up the deportation of foreign national offenders, with a new team of specialist frontline staff going into our prisons, speeding up the removal of prisoners who have no right to be in this country.
The point that I try to make to our European friends, and I think that there are friends, I believe that, I know President Trump does, is that friendship is based on shared values. You do not have shared values if you're jailing people for saying we should close down our border. You don't have shared values if you cancel elections because you don't like the result, and that happened in Romania. You do not have shared values if you're so afraid of your own people that you silence them and shut them up. So let's have shared values. Let's defend democracy. Let's have free expression, not just in the United States, but all over the Western world. That is the path to strong alliances in Europe.
No shortcuts, no gimmicks, just the hard graft of sleeves rolled up practical government, securing our borders, getting a grip on illegal migration, and delivering our plan for change.
Well, we were showing the Benny Hill British Police Force, but the truth is, of course, stranger than the comedy. This weekend, we've had the UK police arresting James and Rita, a dad, for comments that he made about his 9-year-old girl's school teachers on a WhatsApp.
Yes, this couple were held in a cell for 11 hours, arrested in front of their crying children.
Would you and Jane and Pickle ever move abroad? I mean, I've got no plans to. I'd never say never. There's no reason I wouldn't. And I love England. I love visiting loads of countries. Now, there's countries I can't imagine living in. I can imagine living in loads of countries. And the winters would, unless something really, really bad happens and, you know, society goes to hell and we have to get out.
So you can just imagine how traumatised those poor kids are. And James, after a 5-week investigation, there's no case to answer. We don't know what they posted in that WhatsApp group that alerted the police and had so many of them show up to their home to arrest them. Well, if you think there's free speech in the UK, you're kidding yourself at this point.
Exactly. Well, you know, this is the thing. I mean, look at the footage you see there on the screen. The police sent six officers to go and arrest a middle-aged couple for comments that they made in a WhatsApp group. Now, we don't know what the comments were, so, you know, but there's no indication that they were anything sort of threatening or anything like that. The best indication that we've gotten from news reports is that they were complaining about the recruitment teacher for a new teacher at their school.
I can't imagine being bothered to move out of England. But that's the time I think about it. In January and February when it's raining. When I get up and it's just raining and I can't even go for a walk, I go, fucking hell. Fucking England. Fuck's sake. Yeah, I don't mind winters. I don't mind if it's -10, if it's dry and I can still get about. You know, loads of nice countries that are crispy and sunny and covered in snow and -10. Just this drizzle. Just when you wake up and it's like you're in a fucking cloud. Sort of literally and metaphorically. It's just depressing, isn't it? But most of the time, it's all right, isn't it?
We also know that the couple, that their eldest daughter at the school does have some epilepsy and neurodivergence issues, and they were not allowed to meet with the school to talk about these medical issues. So it sounds like these parents had a real grievance. But the fascinating thing here, well, fascinating but also chilling thing, is the way the UK has now become this sort of place where it's a real dystopia. You know, the cops knock on your door for saying the wrong thing online. And for the country that supposedly gave us free speech, that gave us the Areopagitica, which gave us all of these great defenses of liberty, to now be in this place where they charge you with a non-crime, hate crime or whatever, and the process is punishment, I think it's a disgrace.
Well, also, James, you say that we don't know what the crime is, what they said on that WhatsApp group. But nor does the guy who's being charged.
Correct.
Yeah.
The police wouldn't even tell him what he'd actually said that was wrong.
But it was
that's
something...
terrifying.
Why is it up to me to save the world? I didn't ask for this. It's not fair. Sex Pistols. Pretty vacant. He was in trouble, wasn't he, yesterday? Well, no, he wasn't. I say in trouble. Some people went on Twitter, why is he doing that? He wore a MAGA hat, apparently, which you shouldn't do, unless you're trying to annoy people and you're an old punk. And Stephen Knight, who's done my Sirius show a few times, he tweeted, I think he's G spell checker, when he was Godless spell checker. He tweeted this article, John Lydon angers fans wearing MAGA hat. And he quote tweeted it saying, iconic punk does something punk. Which is exactly right. Why are they surprised that he's trying to annoy people? He was in the Sex Pistols. This weird myth that punk was a left-wing revolution. It wasn't. It was rock and roll with safety pins. That any way they could find to annoy you, they would. Some of them wore swastikas, for God's sake. What do you think they liked the design? Or their dads were in the Third Reich? No, they wanted to annoy people. They wanted to cause a fuss. He's still doing it. I think that's so much better than just pop stars try and go with the flow and not annoy anyone. I don't want to offend anyone. I do remember I played Nevermind the Bollocks. That should be this theme tune, shouldn't it? To this load of bollocks. I played it for like 6 months. I used to run home from school. And I was in the sixth form at the time. And we had our own little sort of headquarters of sixth form at my school. So everyone was, what would they have been? 16, 17, 18. And there was only about 25 who were doing A-levels in my school, both years. And we were allowed a record player to play at breaks and lunchtime. And the headmaster used to come in and eat with us lunchtime, just hang out, be cool. And our job was to try and put on a record that would offend him, right? That was our job. And it never worked. He'd be eating, we'd put on Sex Pistols, Clash, White Riot, just put anything. And he'd always go, oh, not my cup of tea. But he'd never rise to the bait. He knew what we were doing. And then I won. I brought in Derek and Clive, and I put that on, and he was eating on my table with about 4 others, right? And we were listening to it, and he was chatting, and then it started on that. I had the fucking job of retrieving lobsters from Jane Mansfield's arsehole, and the headmaster went, "Turn it off," like that. Oh God, it was a victory. So yeah, punk is not dead. Are you just hearing it through the... What's the fucking point? Seriously, what is the fucking point? What the fuck? I mean, why don't things just fucking work? I'd love this to happen on the news. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong story, for fuck's sake. You can hear me, can't you? Right, questions. Stoney Scott, will you finally explain to foreigners how bollocks is bad, but the dog's bollocks is good? That's a good question. Yeah, bollock. Well, bollocks has two meanings, doesn't it? Load of bollocks, load of rubbish, load of absolute bollocks, right? Nonsense, right? But it comes from the word bollocks, meaning slang for. So, I mean, yeah. And the reason that dog's bollocks is good, I think it's a play on those little sayings like, oh, it's the cat's whiskers, like the best thing, like the most important. Oh, cat's whiskers, the bee's knees. I don't know why they're so good. But yeah, so dogs are proud of their bollocks, aren't they? Like a dog with a big balls and about there. It's the dog's bollocks. Like it's important to him. I don't know. You'll have to ask someone like that woman off Countdown. Right. Kermit, you wake up with the ability to shrink down to the size of an apple. Ooh, how big's the apple? Okay. Would you hop on the back of a dog or a cat when you needed a ride somewhere? So I'm like a little toy soldier. Right, okay. Which animal would you get in the most interesting way? Well, I think a dog does what it's told, doesn't it? It knows stuff. You can't. There's that saying: you can train a cat to do anything it wanted to do anyway. So a dog you could probably do, but then a dog couldn't run up a fence, could it? Or up a tree. If I wanted to run up a tree, the cat is my man. If I wanted to do a nice, sensible walk to the shops, dog. Different animals for different needs. So, great question. You notice that, so the thing's going the wrong way, the mic doesn't fucking work, I had emails coming in, dinging. Did I care? Did I fuck? I'm good in a crisis, you see? So, some people would have crumbled. I don't give a shit. So yeah, a cat I think would be more fun. But if I needed if I had to get to somewhere like a doctor's appointment, it's the dog. Whereas if I just wanted to go on an adventure or rob a place, if I wanted to rob a house, it's the cat. So get me into the tree, get me onto that windowsill, get me in. Better than with it. You've picked up many awards throughout your career. But have you ever picked up a really good stick and carried it all the way home without putting it down? I have. I do like to. If I see a good stick, I go to Jane, that's a good stick. And I walk with it and I leave it at the edge of the heath because I don't want it in the house. Why would I want a stick in the house? But I sometimes think that's a shame. I can make that into something. Sometimes I have a hankering for whittling. And I never really do it, but I think that I'd put that on the when I'm 70 file. You know what I mean? Sitting in my castle, just whittling. Or making bow and arrow. I used to love making bows and arrows when I was a kid. My brother-in-law taught me, find a bit and get the string and... Oh. So, yes, I have carried a stick. Not all the way home, but to the edge of the heath. So... I love Bella's question. That's the thing, isn't it? It's from the perspective of a dog. Sammy. So two aliens knock on your door. So two aliens knock on your door, want you to come to their planet alone to do 2 nights of stand-up. I don't even do 2 nights in Leeds. No probing, just comedy. Can I trust them? They're there at. What's with the finger? What's that for? We would like you to come to play comedy. Right. Fucking put the finger away. Greenie. No, in return, they will give you the key to save the world's ecosystem. Yay or nay? See, this is why is it up to me to save the world? I didn't ask for this. It's not fair. It's not fair. And now everyone's watching all the news. It gets around, doesn't it? London comedian Ricky Gervais has been asked by aliens to play a gig, and then it will save the world. And they'll go that, and I go, no, why me? No. Send fucking Bill Cosby. No, I'm not going. I don't trust them. From what I've seen, they get me there, then it's fingers straight up the arse. Isn't it? I go, come to the venue. And I go to the venue, I go, where are all the people? And I go, where are all the people? I go, what was in that beer? And then finger up the arse. Straight away, there I am like a fucking lollipop. Light years from home. Nah, fuck that. Cheeky bastards. Gunner. Is this... What's the point of this? Gunner. Dog. At what point is overthrowing a government ethical, considering all the violence a revolution usually entails? It's a great question from a dog, isn't it? Well, it depends what you mean by overthrowing a government, isn't it? That, you know, one man's, that famous thing, it was a terrorist and a freedom fighter. It depends what side you're on, isn't it? And, you know, we look back now where things have been overthrown because they thought at the time it was good. And vice versa. America was founded on revolution, really, throwing out the English. So, you know, and I bet the British thought they were cheeky bastards. So, it depends whose side you're on. But, I mean, I think there are some clear-cut cases where terrible, abusive dictatorships are killing their subjects, and you want to go, no, fuck that. Sometimes you gotta make a stand, haven't you? I'm answering a dog about stuff I don't know about. No one does, really. No one knows. Oh, fucking Susie, what is something you learned in the last week? What's the number one? The first movie that made you cry? Hold on, there's two questions here. What's going on, Susie? Last time you experienced nostalgia? What is going on? I've said edging my bets by answering three. Well, nostalgia, I've just played some Sex Pistols. That's nostalgia. First movie that made me cry, I reckon it was Jungle Book, when I thought Baloo was dead. Spoiler alert. Okay, what is something you learned in the last week? I think I might talk that we make up as in terms of mass, we make up 30% of all land animals. Just one species. 4% are wild animals, and the other 66% are farm animals. That's amazing, isn't it? 96% of all animals is either us or shit we want to eat. We kill and torture about 2 billion farm animals a day. Mad. I learnt that. Didn't want to know it, but I know it now. So, not all knowledge is fun, is it? Joey. Yeah, Joey the cat. Oh, he's done two questions as well, sensible and stupid. Sensible. If 3 characters from any of your shows were to be made into spitting image puppets, who would you choose? I'd love to see Derek and Dougie. Yeah, that's a good one. Derek, Dougie, and Derek, Dougie, and Kev would be good, wouldn't it? Got off Kev in there. That's a sensible question. Do you want to see a stupid question? Would you rather have no knees or no elbows? I think we've done this, haven't we? I remember I've answered so many fucking stupid questions from cats and dogs, but I'm pretty sure I chose no knees. I assume he means that's not just no kneecaps, but no knees, so your legs are just straight. So I just like walk along, either walk along like a little robot, but I've got all my hands, you know what I mean? I can play guitar, piano, juggle, tennis. Tennis would be a bit awkward, wouldn't it? Running, but that's so much better than just straight arms, isn't it? Because I can't even fucking drink with straight arms. I'd have to do that and then just pour it. Nah, yeah, it's no knees. Gimme, you need a joint in your arm to get to your fucking mouth to eat. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-near for me. Daniel, the year is 2041. You are 80 years old, living in a castle. What have you called your castle? Chateau, but it's spelled SHATOH. That chateau. Oh, that.
Johnny, Johnny, I'm gone again.
So, did you miss this? Yeah, Rick is Chateau Gervais. Freya, when recording the album for Life on the Road, how long did it take to finish the whole thing? Oh, that's tricky because we didn't go in and do it like a real band. They book a studio, don't they, for like a month or two. We sort of did odd days. If I added them all up, so I went in and we sort of laid down a rough rhythm track, got the right tempos, and I did the guide vocal. Then did all the backing. Probably, how many were there? There was 20 tracks, wasn't there? It's a lot of tracks. We probably did like 6 or 7 tracks a day like that. So probably 3 days doing the basic thing. Then I went in to do vocals, and that was probably 2 or 3 whole days. So 6 or 7 days. So we're into sort of like the second week if we were doing it like that. I reckon if we did it in a run, it would be like 20-something days with a mix. I mean, I reckon even with the mix and all I reckon it was a maximum of 30 days, but probably like something like 25. And it was pure fun. There was no stopping and starting. There was no, is this going to make it on? In fact, we had a little bit of time. We did some alternative versions. But I'd say we could have done it, if we were really disciplined and we had all that time free. We could have done it in 3 weeks. So yeah. And I don't know, that's probably average for a real band that's just starting out. I'd have thought to do an album. It was nothing special, but it wasn't ridiculously on the cheap either. It was certainly it was a well-made album. Still available. Thanks for asking. No one's buying it now, are they? I mean, it is 3 years old. You don't often see bands every day 3 years after their albums come out saying it was still available. They probably brought out 2 more by then, but I haven't, so that's the only one you can buy. Rupert, here he is. Is the boy Rupert? Not a boy, he's a dog, but he's a. You see, the term "the dog's bollocks" doesn't apply to Rupert because he's had them off. He's got a lonely winkle halfway up his belly, not a trace of. Isn't bollocks a good word though? I found out I can use that on American chat shows as well because they don't think it's a swear word. They think it's just nonsense. They don't know I'm saying balls every time. We used to do a job of work after work. We used to have drinks, right? And all of us, Jane and all our mates. A good game was like euphemisms where you had to, that thing when you have to go around and go bang and you have to say a word of a genre. We did things like euphemisms for people, which I think I won. Schlong, dong, purple-headed wound ferret, one-eyed trouser snake, pump action yogurt rifle, all that shit, right? And you couldn't hesitate. Then we do bodily functions, and I think Jane, like snot, shit, phlegm, right? And Jane won that. So it gets to you. If it gets to someone, they hesitate, they're out, and so it's down to 2 people. And Jane won that. And when Jane won, she went, and I still had Snurgloid in reserve. I won. We did euphemisms. There's loads of them. So many. It got to the point where, because there was so many people in, right? We were doing that for so long, euphemisms, minge, flange, all that, right? Some people were saying things, I go, that's not a real one. And someone said, well, none of them are real. So we allowed, if you could make one up that sounded real, you invent one, it was allowed. And our mate Tom won euphemisms for vagina by saying Grimsby Harbour. So that didn't make it into the dictionary. Anyway, one more. Last question. Rupert. Mum used to have sports day at school, and believe it or not, she was good at discus and 100 metres. She was fast. Only thing she's fast at now is shoveling cake in. Rupert, that's your mum you're talking about. Did you do sports day, and what were you good at? Shot put, discus, javelin, or running? Only running. I liked the idea of javelin, but it was stupid because it had to make a mark. That annoyed me. Discus, I never got on with. Shot put, ridiculous. I was too puny. You need to be big. But I was good at running, only sprints. And I was, I think I was like that annoying 3rd or 4th fastest. So nothing to brag about. Nothing at all to brag about, in fact. I was okay at everything. The only thing I excelled at, and that was only in my school, was tennis. I think that's because no one really played it or cared much. I was good at martial arts. I did judo and I loved all that. Kempo, karate, jiu-jitsu. Yeah, but that was later. So yeah, I wanted to be good at football. Hated rugby. Terrified. Wanted to be good at cricket. Terrified to bat. Got quite good at bowling. Just stayed away from the bat. Just. The idea in our school was to maim the batsman. So that put me off. Thanks for following. Follow me on Instagram as well, because I might do these over there. Different, Imagine if I went over Instagram and it's exactly the same. How could that even be possible? But you know why I do it, don't you? I do it for you guys. You. No. You. The awards. No. You. Thanks very much. Have a great week. Be nice to animals. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.
So I'm going to mention that it happened not when I was, all over the media every day in Hollywood on talk shows, introducing movies, blah, 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 and actually sleeping with loads of women. It happened when I started to talk about Moderna, Pfizer, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, right, and exploitation and manipulation at the highest level. I know that for years, my promiscuity was exploitative. As a famous rich dude, sleeping around, having sex in bathrooms, sleeping with multiple people at once, using the fact that I had massive access to having sex with strangers and was doing it, that's pretty crazy and excessive. And there's no question that that is sinful, broken behaviour that hurts people. And I beg for forgiveness, and I'm given forgiveness, and I beg for salvation. But what happened in this weird liminal space is that behaviour got metastasised and reformed retrospectively into criminal conduct by competing media companies working with groups like Logically and Crisp, working with legacy media companies, collaborating in an unprecedented way in order to go back to, for years and years, talk to people like, have you got a story about Russell Brand? What about that? Well, other people have bravely come forward. What if we shift that? What if we shift this a little bit? What if we tweak that? Now it goes from, instead of being a heel and a fool and greedy, and and in some aspects of the culture, a playboy, a womanizer, a gadabout, a player. It was reformed into, no, this guy's not like all those other famous womanizers that we know are out there, that sometimes have to put out injunctions, that sometimes have to pay lawyers a lot of money to keep stories quiet. No, you're in this different category here, all of a sudden, of the most appalling criminals known. All the while in my country now, there's this explosion that there are actual grooming gangs that are raping and abusing little girls and young women at an almost institutional and inconceivable level. And it appears that the media and government have repressed and ignored those stories for reasons that I find difficult to understand, but the sort of a loose way of describing it is multiculturalism. Now, in that, Michael Schellenberger, how is it that I as an individual say, hey, listen, it was wrong that I was a womanizer like that. I don't think I'm in a discrete category away from lots of other womanizers, so I hope you're going to get to their investigation sometime down the line. I've got a list of names of other people you might want to look at for womanizing. Not that I'm a telltale.
Great point. I think you're afraid of making mistakes that are undoable, or that obviously you don't make mistakes like I'm going to go sailing pissed because you go, oh, that was a mistake, I'm dead. But I think if you mean mistakes in art and trying stuff, I think that's exactly right. Like stand-up, every night I go out and I try something. You could say it's a mistake. It didn't get a laugh, so I have to change it. And it doesn't get a laugh. But it's odd to call them a mistake because it led to where you're not. If you're okay now and happy where you are, you wouldn't say you lived a life of mistakes, even though they might have been at the time, because they led to something else. Like if you want to get to the top of a ladder, you have to put your foot on the first rung. You don't go, oh, it's a mistake, I'm meant to be at the top. You go, no, yeah, you're on your way. So I think mistakes are exactly what you need to make at the time. You might not even know the mistakes at the time, and you do learn from them because you improve. So, and again, it depends on what type of mistake. If you've got a lot of money and you go, right, I'm going to make t-shirts. I've got 2 designs. You spend all your money on one design. You make $1 million of one and 1,000 of the other, and the ones that you've done 1,000 of, they sell out immediately, and the ones you've done 1 million of, you didn't sell one. Well, that's a big mistake because you've blown all your money. So I think it depends what you mean by the mistake. So, but yeah, to ease things out there and try stuff, I think that's exactly right. I don't know why particularly for me, like writing and doing stand-up, that's why you've got to try things out that might not work. You've got to take the silences or the groans. You're finding the funny. And it's immediate feedback. They tell you your mistake. It's evolution. Evolution, there's a very good example. All genetic mutations, they're a mistake, but they might be advantageous. You know? You just don't know. We'll see. If you survive, well, it wasn't a mistake, was it? Because you're still here.
But more importantly, what are we going to do about the morality? If indeed it is sinful and wrong to sleep around like that, what are we going to do about firstly, the massive criminal, exploitative, evil grooming gangs? Let's get to that. The extraordinary number of people in politics that seem to have weird connections to or various circuits, groups and rings, whether that's around Epstein or people in Hollywood and Diddy, and that's not just people in Hollywood. What do we do about that? How do I personally handle it? And what does it tell us about our shifting culture, these tectonic plates that have moved around, and the people that get caught in the cogs when a culture suddenly decides, of course, I'm going to mention that it happened not when I was, all over the media every day in Hollywood on talk shows, introducing movies, blah, 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 and actually sleeping with loads of women. It happened when I started to talk about Moderna, Pfizer, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, right, and exploitation and manipulation at the highest level.
Photograph. Are you spelling death there, lads? DEF. So, Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Good tune there. No snobbery. Not on this show, mate. How are you? Hello. We said right. is this interesting broadcasting? Honestly, got nothing to beat though. There's nothing to beat. The shit that I see that's being broadcast at the moment in the name of entertainment. I mean, from, shows that, fair enough, they used to be studio shows with a lot of effort and stuff, and now they're put together on Zoom. Right, that's fair enough. But it's like everyone's having a go now, aren't they? Some people are having a second bite at the cherry. They can't believe their luck. They've got we'll have you on. Fucking hell. So we're really milking one idea on Twitter. Again, nothing wrong with that. Whatever gets you through. I told you I finished The Last Dance. Brilliant. Just give the Emmy. Just give that the Emmy. Oh, Emmys. I've got no chance of an Emmy. It started coming through, like people asked me to do this podcast for like Emmy consideration. Afterlife has no chance. No chance at all. Because it's going to be there's the same sort of 5 big network shows that are going to be nominated. They're like a juggernaut, a machine. 6,000 Emmy voters. Why are they going to vote for me? Particularly after the Golden Globes. They all hate me. Yeah. He said we're all disgusting. Should we vote for his Netflix show? No, let's not. Also, I think people will go, this isn't a comedy. It's not people talking in a funny voice and falling over. There's no laughter. There's a man who's sad. I can't believe I've been nominated as many times as I have in the Emmys. Was it 24 times for writing, directing, things like extras, Derek, stand-up. I tell you, I've got a chance of another nomination. Writing my monologue for the Golden Globes again. I've had a couple of nominations for that, so that might get me another nom. Who cares? So if any Emmy voters are watching, vote for me. Be on the right side of history. It doesn't matter. You realise it's very exciting still. And the first time you get nominated for anything or win anything, you think, "Oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever." And then when you see the idiots who get nominated, like it's not that special. And the idiots who fucking vote, and the reasons people vote for things and stuff. But it's nice. It's always nice to be around in the mix, to still be there. I'm talking like I'm dead. This is me writing my own obituary. Yeah, good innings. He was always around. He always got nominated and did a bit of everything. Didn't he? He wrote a little bit and directed and acted. Did a stand-up. Did some children's books. Yeah, he had a good lazy bastard. He liked to drink. He was a nice lad. He stayed normal. Wasn't a nonce. Didn't kill anyone. Paid his taxes. That's not bad, is it? That's not bad for a top entertainer. Yeah, that'll do. Be long on the gravestone, won't it? That'd be a long. Did lots of great stuff. Didn't kill anyone. Not a nonce. Paid his taxes. I'll be happy with that. Had a laugh. Any questions? Quimmy Savile. Someone just said Quimmy Savile. Oh, the other day when I explained to Americans who the outtakes where Ratty and the Nonce were shouting out nicknames like Quimmy Savile, Michael Parkin Bum, and all that. What was the other one? Harold Shitmum. I explained who they were, and I felt bad after, but I lumped in Michael Parkinson with Jimmy Savile and Harold Shipman. Right, now Harold Shipman was a murderer. Jimmy Savile was the world's most prolific nonce. Right, Michael Parkinson didn't do anything wrong. He's a nice man. At the top of his game, he was our greatest interviewer. I wasn't suggesting that he was in the same company as those two. I should make that clear. I've probably made it worse. What else has happened? Thanks for watching Afterlife 1 and 2, and the Willoughbys. That really took off. But yeah, done really, really well according to Netflix. So I don't know if that's a reflection of lockdown, where people just like get their kids and watch this film, watch this film, watch it again. But yeah, incredible all around the world. My first animated feature as one of the producers. So I'll do that again. That lot of work takes 3 years from beginning to end. Getting everything together, all the casting, but it takes a long time, but it's probably actually less work for me to do a voice and be involved than if it was a live action. Anything can happen. Obviously, the real work is for the animators and the director of all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it takes a long fucking time. Never did Jamie Redknapp. Jamie Redknapp, well, his name wasn't changed, and he's an ex-footballer who, as far as I know, has done nothing wrong either. These are just people asking me. I'm not just suddenly just shouting things out. Like, this is a man. What will they think of this, right? What if they found all these things like in 10 years' time and people didn't know the lockdown or why I was doing this? It just looks like the ramblings of a madman. And in 10 years' time, I probably will have lost my mind. I will be somewhere, in a home somewhere. So they go, oh, that was the beginning of it. Just so he'd be sitting there, talking to himself, drinking beer, going, Jamie Redknapp. Right, and then go, there's a cock in a drain. Maybe someone should do the best of. And by the best of, I mean the worst of these. Someone should put together the shittest, most mental, awful, banal moments of this. And I'll send it off. I'll say, can I do this? I want to do this show. Everyone's getting shit telly shows from doing this sort of shit. People are desperate. Absolute bollocks is getting made. So someone compile a 2-minute sizzle reel of the worst of these. Oh dear. How long's that? 13 minutes. Fucking hell. We're not shit to say. Who cares? Where did I watch Bowie and Live Aid 35 years ago? In our shitty little flat on a tiny little television. I had like a coat hanger for an aerial. It was about that big. Right? The flat it's the tiny little room that I talk about where I could open the fridge from the bed. Horrible. shitty place, dodgy landlord, just horrible. And a telly that it was like the picture. You had to wiggle the coat hanger thing to try and get it. It was like, it's like three pictures superimposed. Watching snooker was fucking terrible. It honestly, it looked like atoms and black. It's just about 1,000 balls and black and white, of course. So yeah, and I remember Bowie coming out, and it was incredible. If I remember right, he gave up a bit of his time to show a video. Everyone had like a certain amount of time or 4 songs, and he said, show an important video on some of mine. Yeah, and I think that's when the world also looked at Queen in a different way, didn't they? That was their big. I mean, they're already huge, but their huge global break when everyone just thought, "Oh, Queen are amazing." I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I should do something else in animation. I think I'm really getting into that. It's good, that. I mean, some of the best animation is absolutely brilliant. It's just things you obviously can't do. But I do like working with actors. I like that realism as well. What else? Queen stole that show. Huh? Yeah. Pretty good. Bowie as well. Was it Friday, isn't it? Yeah. Is it another bank holiday, isn't it? How many have they had in May alone? That's a lot, isn't it? I've enjoyed doing this though. It's been nice, just chatting. No pressure. Who gives a fuck? It's been like chatting to. You don't get to do this sort of thing. You do interviews. You're trying to be articulate and talk in sound bites and answer the questions. Sometimes the questions are shit. Whereas this, I don't know. As I say, it's like a man in a padded cell. Just talking to. I don't know who I'm talking to. Really, I'm talking to you lot, but I don't know you, do I? Do you ever play darts? I used to love darts. Yeah, I wasn't good. I never understood with darts. Right? You practice, obviously, I get that. But then you practice, and then you sort of get what you're aiming for. You get, 320s, the odd treble, right, and all that. And then one day you try and get the 20, and you get a 1, and then a 5, and then I go, what? Why? I just did it. It wasn't luck. Why can't I do it every time? So that annoyed me. Your favourite vacation spot? Well, not that we've had a vacation for 20 years. Although, flying around the world doing these gigs, I always make sure. Well, one, I choose the nicest places in the world. Obviously, the most beautiful capital cities, and cities in America and Canada that I want to go to. So we spend some time there. So they're sort of little vacations. Even though I'm working, it's not like work, is it? It's fun. But the last time I had a week off and sat by a pool or a beach or something, which I need to do, that's like 25 years ago. We always liked Italy. Yeah, went there a few times. But obviously, no one's having a vacation yet. Everything's postponed, isn't it? It's my birthday soon. Postpone it. And I can stay 58. Until I celebrate my birthday, I'll stay 58. 58. Fucking hell. Doesn't feel that. I don't feel 58. I know I look it. If doctors open me up, they go, he's definitely fucking 58. Look at this. Look at that. The fuck is that? That's his liver, right? Oh, fucking hell. That is that blood? No, it's Cabernet Sauvignon. Right. Well, that's fucked. This is his bowel. What the fuck is that? We can't put this back. We can't put this back in. I don't know what doctor's doing that, lifting out my insides and showing it around the theatre, making the nurse giggle. Look at that. It's going, oh, doctor, it's fucking hell. Doing a bit with my bits. Oh yeah. I wish you could do that though. I wish you could sort of pay to go in a specialised thing like if you go in there, right? And you go in a pod, and first they do they irradiate all the shit, right? You got nothing in there. You got no fucking microbes and that done or sterile or whatever. Not that sort of sterile, you know what I mean? And then they give you some sort of blood transfusion. I haven't got science, right? And then they do like a colonic, but for everything they somehow, right? They take you all apart, scrub it, right? Wash it under the sink, like wash your liver under the sink, put that back in. Again, I'm not a qualified doctor, right? But that's what I wish they could do. Like we're doctor in the sense of Dr. Frankenstein or Dr. Shipman. Yeah, I wish you could just have like taking your car, do everything. Fucking change the oil, pump the tyres up, sand down the rust. As good as new. Cheers. But no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Science says you can't do that. And who am I to argue with science? Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter. It still runs. I still think. I still eat and drink. I'm still working. I'm happy. What does it matter? Just a shell, isn't it? Just a thing. Just a blob of meat for a brain to live in. Again, I'm not a doctor or a poet, but you know what I mean? I'm a big fucking sack of movable meat that thinks. Doesn't matter what this is, does it? It gets me around. These are fucking putting food in my mouth, right? And juggling. They're the two main things, right? It all fucking works. Doesn't matter what it's like until it doesn't work anymore. And I just then stick me in, put fucking wheels on me, put me in I don't know, some sort of bath on wheels and just get me round. I'd carry on doing shit. Oh, there we go. That should go in the. Could that get in the best of? We'll do it in the best of. Look, come on. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.